What's really good? What's really good? What's really good? Welcome back to another Wednesday night with the Sanchez Show. I'm your host, Eric Sanchez, aka Legend of Two Games. Make sure you are subscribed to the podcast. We are live every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Back on Mondays, Real Fans Real Talk at 7 p.m. Excuse me. And then we're going to be ramping up the schedule once the NFL season comes around. So now that we get into August, don't be surprised. It's going to be more shows Sunday nights, Monday nights, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday nights. A lot more episodes, a lot more shows, a lot more things going on. Shout out to the comment section. Shout out to all the supporters. If you don't already, make sure you're following me on social media. You see the social media handle right there. We got a lot to get into. NBA is going to slow down right now. We expect that to happen. Things are going to slow down. We know where everybody's at. We know where obviously Braun was the kind of the final piece of any puzzle. So we got that. We're going to talk about that as well. I see a couple Braun comments in the comment section. So now we're transitioning. A lot more NFL. We got boxing coming up. We got some good fights. Shout out to Lamont Roach. I saw Lamont Roach on Monday. Shout out to him. He has a big fight against William Zepeda. Lightweight championship at 135 pounds going down this Saturday. So I'll probably go live Saturday before the fight, give some last minute predictions. We might get into it tonight if anything's in the comment section. If not, I'll save it for Saturday. Shout out to him, though. Great young champion, a guy who I feel should have got his second opportunity against Tank Davis, but the politics of the sports took over. So we'll get to that another day as well. But yeah, a lot of boxing, a lot of things going on, a lot of sports to still talk about. But my favorite time of the year, because NFL, we're going to get into some gambling. We're going to talk prop bets. We're going to talk week one bets as we get a little closer. We're going to talk divisional bets. Tonight, mainly prop bets. Got a lot of prop bets for you guys. My brothers Trip Young and Will Gordon will be joining me at some point tonight to give you some of their favorite prop bets for the upcoming NFL season. We're going to keep building on that, man. With that being said, let's get into some stuff, man. Let's get into some comments. Let's see what we got in the comment section. Let's see. Who was the first comment? I want to shout out the first comment of the night. Shout out to Pool. We're going to save that question, though. But shout out to Pool. That was the first one hit. Let's get to a couple that I wanted to just clarify right away. Shout out to Trev. This one's directly for me, so we're going to start there. He says, Sanchez, you've been saying on the last few shows, 76 is trying to trade AD for Embiid. I haven't heard them rumors, only from you. So is it a trade you want or just a hypothetical from you? Shout out to Trev. If you don't already follow me on social media, go to my social media. I posted about this a couple of weeks ago. The scenario I presented, and this is really tied to why I think LeBron chose Philadelphia. LeBron wants an opportunity to win the championship. Don't let anything Chris Paul and those guys say go over your head. Don't let anything they try to say confuse you. All right. He wants an opportunity to win. That's why he was more than willing to take $4 million a year to go to a location that could give him an opportunity to win. Now, can they win with Joel Embiid? I don't think they can. I think it's an incomplete roster with Joel Embiid. I think the uncertainty of the injury history, the fact that he can't get through 4 playoff rounds, that leaves a big cloud over this team as to how could they win with LeBron. They're good enough to win. It's a really good team. It's a really good starting five. If they add Caldwell Pope, who's a veteran, they're talking about bringing in, that would be more depth for this bench that right now is really going to rely on Anthony Simons, Dean Wade, and whoever gets the backup center minutes, whether it's Bona or whether it's Hot Cordy, who they signed from the Knicks. But with that being said, Joel Embiid is still too big of a question mark on his team to think you can win a championship because Embiid can't get through 4 rounds of the playoffs. So the question that I posed and the post that I put up was that if LeBron were to go to the Sixers front office and say, I want to come to Philly, I'm interested in coming to Philly, but I need you guys to trade Joel Embiid. Could an Anthony Davis for Joel Embiid trade make sense? Could it be done? And I presented the trade. Again, it's on my social media. It's been up there for a few weeks now. In my post over this weekend, when the news broke about LeBron, I even tagged a couple people that I sent that hypothetical trade to a few weeks ago for confirmation for you guys. Now, is it an easy trade to make? Not really. First, you got to make sure that the Wizards want to make that trade. But to sweeten the deal, that's why I say I think Philly would have to include VJ Edgecombe. I know he's young. I know they love him. But keep in mind, to trade Joel Embiid is going to take you adding probably 2 first-round picks anyway. They gave up 2 firsts for the Paul George trade. So they don't have 2 firsts that they can just throw out there again for Embiid. So you would have to sweeten the pot with VJ Edgecombe. Also, Don't let the reports go over your head. It was talked about prior to LeBron picking Philly that he had been actively working with any team he signed with to see if they could go get Anthony Davis or Kyrie Irving. Kyrie makes no sense in Philly. They already got Maxey. Bron is going to play the point. He's already said that. So they're not going after Kyrie. And I don't think Dallas has any interest in Joel Embiid anyway, because that's who they would have to trade for the Kyrie money to match up. But Anthony Davis makes perfect sense. The Wizards know long-term Anthony Davis is not part of their plans. He has this year on his contract, and he's got a player option for the following season. They already said they don't want to discuss an extension with him. Rich Paul has been in DC several times trying to speak with the front office about getting an extension done. The Wizards are holding off on that aspect. The second part of this, why it makes sense, is you can get another young piece in to build with AJ and Trae Young as your veteran. If you get VJ Edgecombe, and now he's your shooting guard next to Trae Young with AJ Debanza, now you have the young nucleus to continue to build if you're the Wizards. All right. For the Sixers, it's obvious. You get Anthony Davis, who's a healthier player. If they're both healthy, maybe Embiid might be slightly better. Embiid is an MVP of the league, so we're not going to pretend that he wasn't great when he was healthy. But he hasn't been healthy in 4 or 5 years at this point. He hasn't played more than 40 games in 4 years. So if you're the Sixers and you have true aspirations about winning a championship, you try to make the trade for Anthony Davis. So, Trev, you probably haven't heard it from anybody, but if the trade does go down, remember where you heard it first, because I presented this weeks ago, even before Braun signed with the Sixers. I think they are still discussing it. They're going to try to make it happen. Is it the only trade they're going to try to make happen? No. I also presented another scenario on Monday where you could flip Embiid to Dallas if they are interested, and you could do PJ Washington, possibly Lively or Gafford, either or. I think Gafford because he makes more money, and throw in Klay Thompson as another salary filler. And then for the Sixers, you get a lot more depth now. Now you get a shooter in Klay Thompson. Klay would have to come off the bench, obviously. But you would have Gafford as your big man. You would have PJ Washington as your stretch four off the bench. And you would have a lot more pieces to work with. That's an interesting trade as well. But LeBron wants the guys he trusts. That's why Caldwell Pope is already being talked about coming there. That's why LeBron has already said he would love to get Anthony Davis wherever he goes. He wants the guys he has won with, the guys he trusts the most. He's not going to trust Gafford and PJ Washington because he's never played with those guys. He's never been to war with those guys. He's been to war with Anthony Davis, so that's somebody he trusts. Trip, my brother, give me a thumbs up. Let me know when you're ready, bro. We're going to bring you on the live, man. Shout out to my brother Trip Young in the building tonight. Trip, how you doing, bro?
Oh man, I'm great, man. I was in the church all
I
day.
can't hear you, bro.
I'm not. Am I on? Hold up. You hear me now?
I can't hear you. Hold on. Talk. Let me hear you talk.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, I
You
hear
hear
you
me?
now.
All right. Nah, I said it was good. I was in the church today, so nice little day. Ready to talk some parlays today. I put a couple things together for the
Yeah.
season.
We got a lot to get into. As I was telling the people, we got a lot to get into tonight. Prop bets. We got a lot of questions. It is boxing season, as I love to say. Shout out to Han King Solo, who said, "Hi, I'm from Brooklyn." Shout out to Brooklyn in the building tonight.
So, Lou, what part of Brooklyn you from?
Word. Put it in the
Put it in
comment
the
section.
chat.
Pooh, in regards to what I just said, Pooh said, but Eric, so they would let LeBron and Rich come and make them trade the star player, though. But remember what you're asking, though, Pooh. Embiid hasn't been a star player in like 4 years. It's not like Bron is saying you got to trade Maxey.
Yeah, and Embiid has been, they've been trade rumors about Embiid for the last couple of years because of his health. So it's not, out of the ordinary for LeBron to be like, I'll pull up there, but let's do something about Embiid when they know, what I'm saying, even again, he got an MVP with the 76ers, but he hasn't been available for them a lot. You
Yeah.
know, the best ability is availability, and he hasn't been. So it's not out of the norm for LeBron to say to them, "Listen, let's go get this guy." You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know. Right now it's a 50-50 chance if he's gonna get injured or not. Like if we want to talk parlays, over under 50 games for Embiid this season.
Under.
We started out. That's what I'm saying. So if you taking the under,
I
then you know
mean,
what I'm saying. Why wouldn't I go over there and ask him to make that move?
so for his career, right? Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, they all part of the same draft. But Embiid specifically, he's missed as many games as he's played. Right, that number has been floated around. This is not clickbait. This is not shock value. This is something that has been openly discussed. That I think up until this point in his career, he's played about 470 games, and he sat out almost 470 games up to this point in his career. All right, that's not breaking news. This is facts. These out there. But also, you look, since he's won MVP, he has not played more than 42 games in any season. That isn't going to get better.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, we got LeBron, right? So now I'm healthier now. No, we just saw this guy. He played 3 good games against Boston and immediately broke down when they played the Knicks. After game 1, he was already done.
He probably says, "Yo, I ain't gonna be in the Olympics this year, so I'm gonna be."
So no, but I'm just saying, like, if you're Braun, and you also got to keep in mind, Poole, if you're the Sixers, you do not pursue LeBron James unless you are trying to win right now. LeBron James is going to be 42 years old this year. So you're not getting LeBron with the thought of, oh, we're going to be good for the next 4 or 5 years. No, we're trying to be really good right now. This year, next year, that might be our window, right? LeBron is signing a 2-year contract. Keep in mind, Jaylen Brown, his current contract, by year 3, they're going to have to give him his new extension, which is going to push him closer to about $70 million a year. Excuse me, you're going to have to make decisions on Maxi's new contract. They're trying to win now. This is not a move to say, all right, we got LeBron and now we're just happy. So I don't view this as, oh, the Sixers are letting Braun and Rich come in and run the show. I think this is them saying, we are trying to win it all right now. What moves can we make right now to win? Simple as that.
And they have to have that mindset because most likely you're only going to have LeBron for 2 years. Like I can't, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe he might, if he's still playing at, take it year by year, if he's still playing at a high level, but you really kind of got to go into this thing, with that mindset that we may only have LeBron for 2 years, so we have to do any and everything that we can do right now while we have this opportunity, while he's still one of the top players in the league and can still contribute and really help us get to a championship and win one. So you want to put the best team around him and Jaylen Brown right now. They got a solid core.
They've got to go. They've got to go all in right now. And to my post and my point about the post, do I know if LeBron said that to the front office? No. That's why it is a complete hypothetical. Shout out to Trev, on the question. It is a hypothetical. But when I posed that question in that post, and this was prior to LeBron signing, I said, I wonder what kind of talks were being had behind the scenes to assure LeBron we're going to do everything to win. Because knowing LeBron James, look at every stop he's gone to. All right. When he went to Miami, remember, he was the last one to sign. He wanted to make sure Wade and Bosh were already there before he signed. Right. And then when he got there, what did they do? They kept adding more veterans. They added Ray Allen. They added Shane Battier. They added Mike Miller. He was not content with just, we have a big 3. No, it's keep adding guys that we can win with. Yeah. When he went back to Cleveland, keep in mind, he went back. We already knew that there was some sort of conversation. What were they going to do with the number 1 pick? Well, they flipped it, right, to go get Kevin Love. They had Kyrie. They went and got Love. LeBron signs. But what did they do the very next year? They went and trade for Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Mozgov. LeBron does not go to places without knowing what you're going to do with the roster. So there had to be a conversation. And I truly believe, same thing with the Lakers. He went to the Lakers, and within 1 year, they flipped all the young guys. Go get Anthony Davis, Caldwell Pope, right? Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee. We're going to try to win it as quickly as possible. I highly doubt that Braun and Rich Paul took damn near 30 days to make their decision and didn't have a conversation about what's going to happen with Joel Embiid.
Of course. No, of course.
Right?
Right.
Is he healthy enough? Is he healthy enough to make it through the playoffs? Is he good enough? Is he reliable enough? Can we sit here and say, we know for a fact that he's going to make it through 4 rounds of the playoffs? He has not. He's never been out the second round of playoffs. And even getting to the second round has been a struggle for him physically. So I don't think that LeBron went to Philadelphia expecting to play with Joel Embiid in the playoffs. You would have to show me the recording of that conversation for me to believe that.
I think, with LeBron, see, one thing about LeBron is he's very intelligent, right? And He's a student of the game, and you could tell from when he was speaking about the Knicks, and giving them their props for for what they accomplished, but also know that he's watching that blueprint, the depth that the Knicks had, which was really the push that they needed to get them over the hump, that depth, because it wasn't all about the starters. It was guys like Shamit coming in and having big nights. It was guys like Jose Alvarado coming in and having big nights. It was guys like Mitchell Robinson with the dunk over Embiid. That was one of those momentum shaking moments, in the playoffs. So he's studying, and yeah, he wants to put the best team possible around him. If he's going to your team, yeah, we gonna put this thing together. And to his credit, he has won every place that he's been at. So he put a team together.
Who said it's crazy? We talking about an old ass man about what he wants. Shake my head. Listen, that part I do
Adam
agree with.
Silver spoke about it. If Adam Silver saying it, what we gonna do? He said, "Come on,
Well,
bro. We waiting on you to get the schedule out."
but to be fair, Pooh, let's be real. As we sit here, right? It's July 29th, right? Let's be real. This is the slow news cycle of the sports world, right? Because NFL is still a good month away before it's close to starting. Obviously, NBA just ended. Only thing that's really going on right now is baseball. There are no major fights going on. So you got some WNBA, you got baseball. LeBron signing when he signed was going to dominate the news headlines. It is what it is. Um, and I think that if anybody, just like if we got a trade today, we would have been saying the same thing. Yeah, I'm getting tired of the LeBron talk too, Pooh. I'm being honest with you, but people asking, so we got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? The people asking. I get tired of talking about Caitlin Clark, but people keep asking. This was the first comment at night, so we're gonna circle back to it. It was from Pooh. Trip. She wants to know who is the team to beat in the NFC East. Is it the Cowboys or the new look Philadelphia Eagles? Shout out to Jalen Carter. He got his new deal too.
I would say Philadelphia is still a team to beat in the NFC East. As as good of a wide receiver that AJ Brown is, when things go bad in the locker room and guys have issues like that, it's basically an addition by subtraction situation. So I think the Eagles are going to be very good this season. Um, I think Saquon is going to have another good year this season. Devontae Smith, I think he's gonna have a big year this season because now he's gonna be the number one, in that offense. So I gotta go with the Eagles. The Cowboys, they still got to show and prove.
You got to say it's the Eagles. They are the divisional champs for the past 2 seasons. Now I know there's historically always a lot of turnover in the NFC East, and I've already said I think the Cowboys are going to be much better this year, and the Cowboys are going to be a playoff team. But it's the Eagles' division until proven otherwise. Um, to your point, addition by subtraction, I think does really happen in this situation for Philly. I think that locker room is much calmer at this point. I think that defense is going to get back to who they were the previous year. They're going to be a little nastier. They're going to get better. Saquon, you expect them to have a bounce back year, but there's still a lot of weapons there. Like we're not going to act like Philly doesn't have all pros at damn near every level. It's still a very talented roster. You still got a team that, at its core, has gone to 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, right? You still got a team that just a couple years ago was the champion with the Super Bowl MVP in their locker room. So I think the Eagles are still the team to beat in the NFC East. I do believe the Cowboys will be a playoff team, but I just think it's still everything runs through Philly right now. Will, give me a thumbs up. Let me know when you're ready. And Pooh, you're not gonna like this, but there's more LeBron questions. We'll circle back to those though. We'll circle back to. We won't get to those right away. Trip, while Will gets ready, let's get to this boxing question right here. Terrence Crawford fires at Clarissa Shields. urging her to leave Layla Ali alone and show respect to the women who paved the way for her and today's generation. Is he right? Shout out to TJ.
Um, I mean, there's a couple ways you could look at it, right? Is it even his business to speak on in the first place? So that's the first thing.
Well, I believe
Um,
he was asked a question. I believe he was asked because I think
but
this came from the other night during the Errol Spence fight.
yeah, but even when you ask the question, I mean, there's ways around it. He could have said, "Listen, they both legends. You know, I don't really want to get into that. That's their business." But that's just one perspective, you know. Because personally, I do feel like, you know, like I think it was really for me. I think it was the Gillian Wallow interview. I think it was that one that she did when she was like trying to say Layla Ali was trash, and that was the point where I'm like, all right, trolling is cool, but we're not gonna disrespect her legacy because she just might be the GOAT of women's boxing, right? Y'all never, it's not like y'all was in the same era to really find out to see, you know, if y'all could do it. Yeah, I know you thirsty to fight her now, but she hasn't fought in almost 20 years. So you know, yeah, it's like, come on, like, all right, now you doing too much. Like, I get it, you trying to increase the bag, but I'm just not with that kind of disrespect. I'm not with. Like, we're not gonna sit up here and call Layla Ali trash because we know that's farthest from the truth.
I respect what Terrence is saying. I didn't hear any disrespect towards Clarissa and what he said. You
Mhm.
know, he didn't call out her name. He didn't try to trash her. He was just saying, like, have respect for the legends that paved the way. And I get it because it's kind of something that you and I talked about before. Like, this whole going at Layla Ali and challenge her to a fight, we know it makes no sense. Layla Ali been out the ring over a decade. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 15 years, really. I can't remember the last time Layla fought, but it's been a very
Yeah.
long time. So to try to fight someone purely based off name recognition, knowing they hadn't been in the ring for as long as she's been in the ring, and you are the top person in the sport, and then making it seem like she's ducking me, like I get what he's saying. Like, you're making a mockery of the sport now. That is a legend. That's somebody who truly did open up the books, opened up the money for a lot of women that are fighting today because Layla Ali was a star attraction during her time. So I get what he was saying. I'm okay with it. Again, he didn't disrespect her. He didn't call out a name. He didn't trash her own legacy. He just said, look, leave Layla alone, man. You know what I'm saying? Just have respect for her and leave it at that and move on. So I'm cool with it. Will, give me a thumbs up. Let me know when you're ready, bro. Will Gordon in the building. What's good, bro?
What they do, baby? What's up, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Good man.
All is
How's
well. All is
everything?
well, man. We're going to
Everything's
circle
good.
back. We started off talking about LeBron. We're gonna wait and we'll circle back to those questions. There's a lot more LeBron stuff in here. Um, Will, you can start with this one because this is in your division. Shout out to TJ again. Is the Chiefs dynasty still in progress?
Uh, yes and no. It's it's gonna take some until you chop off the head of the snake. You know, until Mahomes goes down or shows some decline, and until Andy Reid's no longer the head coach, and you don't have that relationship, that coach quarterback relationship, then I'm never going to count them out. But this isn't the Patrick Mahomes of yesterday. I mean, the Chiefs of yesterday. This isn't the Chiefs that, you know, every time they showed up, other teams feared. This isn't the team that had a tight end that you game plan for. Those days are over because he's Travis Kelsey's clearly lost a step. I do expect them to get a big boost in the running game with the Kenneth Walker signing, but still in progress. I guess you have to say yeah, because I mean, like I said, until Mahomes shows signs of decline, it's always that's going to be a team that you probably won't bet against.
Trip. I can't hear you, bro.
It's still in progress. We talked about this on Monday night. They now have a running game, something that they haven't had that consistency with at this level for a very long time. I think that having Kenneth Walker there is going to open up so much with the Chiefs offense because he's that dominant of a running back. And Patrick Mahomes is coming back healthy. They're still right in the mix. I mean, come on, like it's literally been a year since they were in a Super Bowl. So come on, man. Like if it was the 2 years that passed, all right, and they ain't make. Let's say they don't make the playoffs this year, then I'll be like, all right, you know, they need to shake some things up. But a year ago, Patrick Mahomes is going to come back healthy this season. Like I said, they have a running game now, which is going to open up a lot more. Because now you can't just double and triple team receivers that are second and third tier realistically, because you gotta put some guys in the box to stop Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I think it's too early to say it's over. It is still in progress. And I used the analogy on Monday. Remember, the Patriots, we consider all of that a dynasty. They had went at one point 10 years without making the Super Bowl, right? We just said, oh, it was a revamped version. They won 3 out of 4 early in Tom's career. Then they went a long time without making the Super Bowl. Then they started going back to Super Bowls, and it became a revamped version, obviously with Moss and Welker, and then later on with Gronk. So I think the Chiefs dynasty, as long as Mahomes is there, it is still a dynasty. If they miss the playoffs a couple seasons in a row, then yeah, that's a different conversation, and we can circle back. But for right now, even with missing the playoffs last year, they still been in what 5 of the last 8 Super Bowls. I think that's a dynasty. It's still in progress at this point. So you ain't really said nothing, and I think they're going to be back in the playoffs this year. We're going to save our Super Bowl picks so we get a little closer to the season, but I think they're going to be in the mix. And if Mahomes is as healthy as they've been claiming, because from what I heard from early in the spring, they said they expect him back by week 3, week 4. Now I'm hearing reports they think he has an outside chance of even being ready for opening day. If he is ready that early and he doesn't miss much time, yeah, they are going to be in the mix for another Super Bowl, at least a Super Bowl run. I'm not going to say they're going to win it, but they'll be in the mix for a run. Will, this is near and dear to you. So we're going to start. We're going to get to this. Shout out to Squeeze. Olivia Miles, I know y'all keep saying Wilson, but Miles is the leader for MVP to me. Wilson has had her team all year, and they were like 4th. Miles without Collier and still in first place. Tell them, Will.
Man, I've been talking about Olivia Miles all season long. This girl's incredible. I agree with you too. She's definitely. I think she could be the MVP because of everything he points out. No, age is still putting up about 28 a game. So when voters look at numbers, and her scoring is so much higher than everyone else, then it's going to be people that cast their vote that way. But Olivia Miles is doing things at the point guard position as a rookie that I haven't seen before, and the way she commands. I hate making the comparison already, but she got like her level of command for the court is like Maya Moore-esque, in where it doesn't seem like she gets rattled, and she's always making the right play. MVP, I did bet on it. It's plus 1,000 for her to win MVP for the regular season. So you know what I'm saying, go ahead, throw some change on that. That's not a bad bet. She's definitely the rookie of the year, but MVP we're gonna see. But if she gets it, I'm gonna be very happy for it, and it wouldn't be a situation of where somebody gets it just because they get tired of giving it to Asia. She's really out here showing and proving that she belongs in WNBA, and it's going to be here for a long time.
She's having a great year. Trip, what you think though?
I think she has a really good shot at getting it. I think game by game she's increasing her chances. Keeping them in first place is gonna do a lot to keep her up there. With Asia Wilson in the voting. But I don't know. I still got a feeling that the MVP is gonna go to Asia Wilson.
I agree. I mean, Olivia's having a great year, but the numbers, Asia's numbers is phenomenal, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Olivia does get it. and that's cool. I wouldn't be mad if she does. I just think it's still, if we sat here today, and I know this isn't how the voting goes, but if I ask each one of y'all, who's the best player in the WNBA right now? Will, who would you say?
I'd probably still say Asia, but Olivia would be a close second in my opinion.
Trip.
You asking about the best player in the WNBA?
And the W right now, best player.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the best player in the WNBA is first in points, is third in rebounds, is first in blocks. That's the best player, and that's Asia Wilson. And she is an elite two-way player. And elite two-way players tend to always stay on top of the pack. And her numbers this season back it all up. It's just what she does on both sides of the basketball. It hasn't been duplicated yet.
Yeah. Listen, shout out to the supporters. Shout out to the comment section. We're gonna get to a couple more comments, and then we're gonna transition over. As I said, we're getting closer to the NFL season, so we got some player props. We got some things that you can bet on that we're feeling very confident in. And as you guys know, if you follow the show, if you're locked in with the Sanchez Show, you already know every Wednesday night we're doing 401k pick of the week. We're giving you player props. Last year we had rolled out a gimmick where we were putting together with the 12-leg parlay. We came close to hitting that 12-leg parlay a couple of times. We're going to roll that gimmick back out this year as well. Guys, make sure you are subscribed to the podcast, streaming on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Kick. Make sure you're following us across social media. You see the social media handles right there. We're going to get to the NFL stuff in a minute. Let's stay WNBA, and then we're going to get to some of these Braun questions that were here as well. Kyrie said, did you see the comments of Monica McNutt on Caitlin Clark recently? Her fans calling for ESPN to fire her. Did you guys see the comments or read the statement that was made by Monica McNutt?
I did not.
Trip.
I didn't see the statement. I'm about to pull it up really quick.
Yeah, I looked it up. I didn't hear the statement, but I looked it up after I saw this question from Kyrie. Long story short, Monica McNutt praised Caitlin Clark, called her one of the rising stars of the league, but also said that there's a lot of room for accountability and growth. I don't think Monica McNutt said anything wrong. Like I said, she was complimentary of Caitlin Clark to start out, and then said there's a lot of room. She said she's 24 years old. There's a lot of room for accountability, a lot of room for growth within Caitlin Clark. The subject matter really was Caitlin Clark's recent press conference where she talked about the media creating narratives about her and her relationships throughout the W. The reason I don't think Monica is wrong in anything she's saying is if we go back, right, we talk a lot about Caitlin Clark. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I get tired of talking about Caitlin Clark. We talk about her way too much at this point. But we talk about Caitlin Clark. We talk about whether she's a villain, whether she is being propped up because she's the great white hope. We talk about her, whatever you want to call it, between her and Angel Reese, her interactions with other players. But the one thing I think that sticks out the most and that really has shined light on this is those comments recently by Paige Buckers, where Paige Buckers highlighted the importance of Black women, not only in the sport, but in our culture and our community, where Paige Buckers saluted Black women and said, if not for Black women, I'm not on this platform, right? I'm not in the W if not for the sacrifices that Black women made before me. I think those comments starting to resonate now because when you have another white athlete who is acknowledging that I would not be in this position, making the amount of money and getting the amount of recognition I would be getting if not for the sacrifices made by Black women. Now people are going to look at Caitlin Clark, and I think that's where Monica McNutt was talking about the accountability and the growth of understanding that, yeah, you're a star. Don't get it twisted. You're a star. But you're also failing to acknowledge the people that have kind of propped you up to this point. If not for all the Black women that came before you, you don't even get this platform. And I think that's what Monica was talking about. So to me, I don't think, first of all, Monica ain't going to lose her job at ESPN for speaking the way she did because she didn't say anything disrespectful. But secondly, I think people were missing the point in what Monica McNutt was trying to say.
And, people are crazy because The way people be trying to call for somebody to get fired is ridiculous. She ain't disrespect that girl in no way, shape, or form. So why would that even be a topic of discussion? Her getting fired. First of all, Monica McNutt is one of the best on television right now. So like we not even gonna do that. And she put in her work to be in that spot as well. And she had a valid point. There does need to be some accountability. Caitlin Clark, a lot of times, at least on the court, plays the victim. Now, yeah, she does get bumped around, but this is a contact sport. That ain't no fighting allowed. But yeah, you're gonna get some bumps and bruises. This is a grown woman. You're not playing against little girls no more. This ain't college. Welcome to the big leagues. And when you get to the big leagues, you might get bumped around. You might get fouled. And guess what? In college, where you might have some gaps in between players, where everybody's not bigger, stronger, faster. But once you get to that pro level, everybody is bigger, stronger, and faster, and you got to keep up with that. So all that, I've been noticing that victim stuff, like everybody's, and a lot of times it don't even nothing be happening, and you out here crying. So
yeah, and like I said, that's what I perceive from Monica's comments. When she talked about accountability and growth, I think that's what she's referring to. Like you said, you're playing this victim mentality, but you're not acknowledging the people that made sacrifice to allow you to even be at this platform. Will, you got anything to add?
No, I think y'all said it all on that one.
I bet this one's for you, Will. This from Squeeze, and shout out to Squeeze. I see your comment. I'm gonna save that for the end of the show. I'll post both those questions up at the same time at the end of the show. We'll go to that. But shout out to Squeeze. He said, "Will, I'm hearing Wizards been talking to DeMar DeRozan. Would it be a solid pickup? I know you like it."
Yeah, I heard that too. I'd be 1,000% behind it. DeMar DeRozan's a walking bucket that also plays defense and has been in this league for a long time, can bring a lot to the locker room. And he fills a void also because we need more scoring. I don't. He'd probably be the starting two for sure, but which gives us going off the bench with the young guys like Keyshawn George. But I love the pickup. It'd be a perfect signing for the team and for him because this is somewhere where it's a team that I'm telling you is on the rise and he get plenty of run. So make it happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think DeMar's a good veteran pickup for that team. He probably could start. I'm not gonna say he wouldn't start. My only question would be how would it be redundant to have him and Chris Middleton on the floor together? Because stylistically, they're kind of the same players.
yeah, I can just see that.
Well, Middleton, he's coming off that bench.
All right, so then that was going to be my question because I think one of them got to come off the bench. To
Yeah,
start them
Middleton.
both, it's almost like it's redundant in what they do offensively.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, but if you're gonna bring Middleton off the bench, yeah, DeMar would start. We got to get to it. We got to get back to these LeBron questions. There's more LeBron questions, man. More LeBron questions. These are both from Squeeze. I'm gonna put both of these kind of back to back because they're kind of similar. NBA analyst LeBron. This is what NBA analysts are saying. I guess that's what he's presenting it as. LeBron had to leave so Luka could fully become Lakers leader. Y'all agree with that? And then he says, looking back, do y'all think Bron and Luka like playing together? Trip, I'm gonna let you go first. Did they like playing together? And do you feel like Bron had to leave so that Luka could become the leader of the Laker locker room?
I think when it was good, the times that were good, when everybody was healthy, I think they did genuinely like, rocking with each other. But I do agree though that LeBron did have to step away for Luka to become the man in LA. And the reason why is because Braun already won a championship there. So he's still and it's Braun. So he's still gonna get that praise. So in order for Luka to get back to like how it was in Dallas, there can't be a bigger star on the roster than him. I do think Luka's gonna have a really good year this year. I think he'll be right back in the MVP conversation. Because I think the moves that the Lakers made, are very suited for Luka to be successful. And I know they're trying to make another um, move there, but yeah.
Will, what you think?
I don't I don't think Luka like playing with LeBron. No. And what's the second part of the question?
Um, NBA analysts are saying LeBron had to leave so Luka could fully become the Lakers' leader.
I don't. Was LeBron the Lakers leader like the ever since Luka got there? I feel like ever since Luka got there, it was the attention shifted completely, in my opinion. And I think that's what I think LeBron felt that as soon as Luka came, he was, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think it was a basketball fit, really. It's funny to say that since LeBron James is supposed to be such a, utility knife, but not with a player that has the ball in their hands as much as Luka needs to. I just never thought that was going to work out.
Yeah, I agree with both those. I think LeBron did have to leave for Luka to become the leader, and that's not a knock against LeBron. It's just the facts. If you're trading for this young superstar, you can't have this aging superstar who now is still the face of everything, right? You got to transition, and we knew that when the trade was made that they got to transition and they got to kind of give the keys to the car to Luka and let him go. Do I think they like playing together? I think it was awkward at times, but that's because it was forced together. It was a trade that was made mid-season. They had to kind of figure it out. Then LeBron sits out the start of last season, whatever we want to call it. I know they said it was sciatica, but ironically, the sciatica never came back again throughout the season. It was just only at the beginning of the season. The Lakers played well without LeBron. Then he comes back. They kind of play 500 basketball, but then Luka goes out. LeBron leads them in the playoffs to a playoff victory. And so, of course, you're going to have those feelings within the locker room. Like, yeah, we know Luka's the future, but we still got Braun and we still winning games with Braun and we still want a playoff series with Braun. And this was kind of what I said Monday. Guys was in the comment section on YouTube mad about it when it was like, oh, well, Kevin Durant didn't play. It don't matter if Kevin Durant didn't play. The Lakers won a series with LeBron James at 41 years old. Guys in the locker room are going to look at that and say, well, I guess he's the leader then, because that's who we won the series with. He was the guy leading us to win a series that we were heavily underdogs.
They didn't win the year before.
Right. They didn't win a playoff game, the playoff series the year before. So you were going to consistently have that dynamic. You're going to have guys who have respect for LeBron. You had some guys who played with LeBron prior to Luka getting there. Then you had some guys who looked at Luka and say, yeah, he's the future. And now we have the power struggle. Are we staying attached to our past or are we moving on with our future? The Lakers had to move on. We've talked about that plenty of times. LeBron had to either publicly pass on the keys and say this is Luka's team, or he was going to have to move on to another team. And the irony of this is the Lakers made some moves this offseason, right? With Walker Kessler, getting Quentin Grimes, getting a couple other guys. LeBron could have went back to LA for $4 million and been a part of that team if he really wanted to, but he knew I got to move on from this. Like, I will not have any type of control anymore. It's Luka's show. So yeah, that's that. What else we got? I think that's most of the questions. Yeah, squeeze that last one. We saving that for the end of the show. All right, we're gonna get to the topic of the night. We're doing NFL props for the upcoming season. It was kind of short notice. I spoke to Will about this the other day because I was like, it's a slow news cycle. Let's kind of throw together some prop bets that we like and go from there. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna bring up a couple that I mentioned on a previous episode, and then I got a lot more, and then we'll go from there. But the whole premise of it is looking for prop bets that have good value. Right now, if you go on FanDuel, a lot of them are even odds, -114 across the board on a lot of the prop bets, because again, we're still about a month away from the start of the season. We haven't seen certain guys in training camp yet and preseason to really know what they're doing within their offense. But a couple that I threw out a couple weeks ago, just to give you guys an example, we go from there. I said I loved Emeka Egbuka from Tampa Bay. His over-under number on receiving yards is 900 yards. Last year, he went for 938. Mike Evans is not there. Chris Godwin has been banged up a little bit. I think that's a good one for them. Let me know if y'all, I think y'all froze, bro. Let me know if y'all froze. The
No, we
connection
good.
might froze there for a second.
No, we good.
Oh, all right, my fault. I see it on mine. It looked like it froze.
Yeah, you actually froze for a minute. This is the way you was talking. Yeah, you good? It's good now. You can see it.
All right, we good?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. I don't know. Maybe unless it's the connection on mine, it looked like it froze there for a second.
Yeah, I'm good.
No, you good.
All right. So Emeka Egbuka was one that I really like.
It froze.
Tyler Warren's another one that I really like. Over 750 receiving yards. Last year, he went for 800 yards. As a rookie, Daniel Jones gets hurt. His numbers tailed off towards the end of that season. But overall, he had a good season. I think he has another good season this year. So that's just an example of a couple guys. Trip, I'm going to let you go first, man. Let me know a couple guys that you're looking at for this upcoming season. What player props you like?
All right. So I got Lamar Jackson to win MVP. All right. I'm taking the over on Joe Burrow for passing touchdowns. I'm taking the over on Jamar Chase for receiving yards.
Hold on. Slow down. Hold on. Let's go with the first one. You said Lamar MVP?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson MVP.
Okay. Give me an explanation on it. Why you like Lamar MVP this year?
Remember that T.I. song, Motivation?
Okay.
Motivation. He got a lot of things to get off his chest. Y'all put that man at number 69 in the rankings. He gonna show you he gonna show y'all.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be another one of them MVP seasons for Lamar.
Okay. Will, give me one that you got.
Excuse me. I went all team bets. I saw a couple player props that I like, but most of the ones that I really like were team bets. Like I've got the Jets under 3.5 wins.
That's crazy.
I think they're gonna stink.
It's really not crazy because they could do that because the Jets.
They're not getting under that.
But that's a risky one to take. That's very high risk. Like high reward.
It's plus 310. You know what I'm saying? So I also I just think they're gonna stink. Isn't Geno back there?
Geno is back there. I don't know though, bro. Keep in mind, last year, for as bad as they were last year, they went 3-14. And they were trying to tank pretty much the last 2 months of the season. Remember, they traded away Sauce, they traded away Quinnen. Like they were trading away guys and still finished with 3 wins. You're basically saying they can't win one game every month. All they got to do is win one game a month, and they go over 3.5 wins.
Geno stinks.
I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't stink.
He's gonna lose you more games. He's gonna win you.
Well, last year with Geno on the Raiders, I mean, same thing, 3-14. I don't know, man. 3, that's tough, bro.
3 is his number.
To me, I think Aaron Glenn has to win games this year. Aaron Glenn cannot afford to go another 3 wins and expect to keep his job. Like he's got to try to get the 5 or 6 wins to make it at least show like, all right, we had a little bit of growth. So they're gonna be very desperate, I think, early in the season to win some games. That's tough, bro.
I don't think he's a good coach, and I don't think Geno's a good quarterback. That's a recipe for a disaster.
Okay. I'm gonna give you another one. I'm gonna go with so I like the Lamar for MVP. We talked about it. Remember, I gave y'all the odds where I said 40 total touchdowns for Lamar. I think it was something like plus like 2,100. But one of them I really love, and it's plus odds. Lamar Jackson over 24.5 passing touchdowns. Keep in mind, last year he was hurt. He only played 13 games last year. He had 21 touchdowns last year, even though he missed 4 games. If he's not hurt, he's going over 24.5 touchdowns. Also, it's plus 270 if you got him to get 30 passing touchdowns. So I think if you're looking at him for the MVP, 30 passing touchdowns kind of go right hand in hand because you got to be at that number to get the MVP. But I definitely love over 24.5 passing touchdowns. That's plus 104. If you look at him for his career, like I said, injured last year, he only had 21 passing touchdowns. The year before, when he won the MVP, he had 41 passing touchdowns. They're going to go back to that style of offense. Lamar's going to be pretty healthy and motivated. I think that's easy money, bro. Trip, give me your second one.
Hold up. So this one here is just, I'm gonna give you my teams. So I'm gonna take the Ravens to win the North and Buffalo to win the East.
So Ravens win the North, Bills win East.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty self-explanatory. I think they're both favorites to win their divisions. Buffalo, really the biggest threat is New England. Ravens should win their division unless, again, barring some sort of injury, because I think the Ravens are better than the Bengals. They're better than Pittsburgh. So, yeah, you could pair them together and probably turn that into plus money somewhere, too. I would have to double check what the odds are for both those teams. Will, give me your next one.
I'm going to go to the NFC East. I think it's going to be annoying as hell, but it's been a year of annoying sports fans. Knicks. Knicks. So, but I can see.
Just say whatever you want. Just make sure you're NBA champion on that.
But I can see
NBA champion when you reference us.
Make sure you say Knicks in foul. Whatever you say.
Exhibit A. Exhibit A. Cowboys win the NFC East this year. I think Dak's going to have an outstanding season. I think that offense is going to put up a lot of points. For them to win that division is plus 195.
I like that. I like that one a lot. It goes back to what we talked about earlier when we talked about who does the division run through. And I said it does run through the Eagles, but I do expect the Cowboys to make the playoffs. So to take them at plus 195 isn't a reach, right? If you think they're going to make the playoffs, then you could take a bigger swing and say, all right, let's take them for the division. Also, historically, this is a division that's always had a new champion year after year. So for the Eagles to win the division for the third straight year definitely would be out of the norm from what we've seen historically from this division. I'm going to stay in that division because I got a player prop from that team specifically that I really like. And I hate to do it because it's one of the player props that I'm taking that's actually an under. But I think just based off the year he had last year, George Pickens under 1,050 yards receiving. He had a great year last year. He had 1,400 yards. But keep in mind, he was top 10 in targets. It was a career high. He was top 10 in receptions, top 10 in yards, top 10 in touchdowns. I think he comes back down to earth a little bit. He was playing for a contract last year. He didn't get the new contract. I also think because the Cowboy defense is going to be better, they won't be in as many shootouts as they were last year. You look at Pickens historically, he's always been a guy somewhere around 900 yards receiving with about 60 to 70 catches. I think that's really where he's going to come back down to because, again, you look at his targets last year, he got 137 targets. That was like Puka Nacua and Smith and Jigba type numbers. I don't think he's going to get that many targets this year. Not to say he's going to have a bad year, but 1,400 yards from a guy that you expect to be your number two receiver, that's not the norm. You normally don't throw the ball that much to your number two receiver. And again, if their defense is better and they're playing more ball control offense because they have the lead more often, I just don't think he gets as many targets. So I could see him still having like a 900-yard receiving year. I just don't think he goes over 1,000 yards this year.
I like that.
And that one is one's minus 114. Like I said, they give you even odds on that. Vegas is kind of telling you they think to see a guy go for 1,400 yards and Vegas is saying his over under at 1050 is almost like they're saying as well. They think he's going to come back down to earth a little bit in terms of production. Trip, give me your next one.
All right, so my next one is going to be I'm gonna take it to the south. I'm gonna take the Jaguars to win the AFC South this year.
I like that.
I'm gonna take the plus on the receiving yards for Brian Thomas Jr.
Where's he at?
Yards at?
I think was it 1,300.
That's a lot of yards, bro.
Hell no, not from him.
Yeah,
They
that's a
I'm
lot
a,
of
Yeah, I
he
yards.
think
was
he's
on
gonna
my
have to
fantasy
back
team
yeah.
last year. I hate that dude.
I know that's why I said he's gonna have a bounce back here.
That's a big bounce back.
Yeah, that's a lot of yards,
If
bro.
they win the division, he's gonna have to step his game up in order for them to win the division.
Yeah, but they remember they won the division last year. He did no. Did they win or the Texans won it? I can't remember if they won or the Texans won it.
Yeah, who did win?
So you
I feel like Houston had a home game in the playoffs.
I think Houston might have won the division.
So you in 2 seconds.
Because Jacksonville made the playoffs last year and Thomas didn't have a good year. They remember they traded for what's old boy they used to be with the Raiders.
Oh no, Jacksonville did win the division.
Oh,
Yeah,
did it?
so they won last year. He didn't have a big year. 1,300 yards is a lot of yards, bro. Like I said, you're talking 1,300 yards put you as like a top 4 receiver in the league, bro. You're talking about, like I said, the Puka and Jamar Chase. Them dudes get those type of numbers. That's a big number. Pause. I like them to win the AFC South, though. I do like that because I still like their defense a lot. I can see them winning the South. Will, give me your next one.
Let me see here. This one, you ain't gonna like this one either. The Browns will have. I'm hammering your Jets. Oh, the Jets, I should say. The Browns will have more wins than the Jets.
So
Plus,
Browns.
the Browns to have more wins than the Jets.
Probably.
Plus 110.
That's not
Hey,
too far a reach.
yeah,
That's not too far a reach.
I think Pittsburgh is going to be down. I think Cincinnati is going to be horrible on defense and horrible on the offensive line as usual. I don't care who they pick up. That's just, you know what I'm saying. I can't go against history on that. And I think the Browns are going to be energized with the new coach. With I think you're going to see Shador end up winning that camp battle. So if you have that consistency from camp with Shador, and if he shows that he has improved in putting in the work from last season, even though Myles Garrett's gone, they still will be good on defense with the kid they brought back from the Rams. I think the Browns might win about 8 games this year, and for them, that's pretty impressive for the Browns. And we already talked about what I think the Jets are going to be.
So they could win more games than the Jets. I'm not going to say they can't. Right now, the Browns are only favored in 2 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're favored in their game against the Raiders, and they're favored in their game against the Falcons. That's their whole schedule because they got the odds out on every game on the schedule. They're actually underdogs in their game against the Jets. They play the Jets. When is it? I just passed that one actually. They play the Jets on October 11th in New York.
In New York, what is it like? -3,
-1.5.
But you know what? I think you also got to take into account that Cleveland is probably gonna win one of the season doubleheaders from 2 of those teams. Either the Bengals and the Ravens, they're gonna beat in one of them games, or the Ravens and the Steelers, or the Steelers and the Bengals. That's how it kind of works. Cleveland usually gets to steal on one of them rivalry games.
The benefit the Browns might have. So, like you said, right? I think the Jets division is a little tougher because the Jets got 2 legitimate playoff teams in their division. Whereas the Browns really only have 1 legitimate team, and that's the Ravens. Pittsburgh's very beatable. Cincinnati is very beatable, especially if Joe Burrow gets hurt again. So the Browns could win games within their division and keep themselves competitive. Also, to end the season, they get a couple games that, again, depending on how those teams look, that last month of the season, they get the Falcons game. We already know the Falcons quarterback situation is trash. They get the Giants. We think the Giants are going to be better, but Maybe they won't. Maybe the Giants are still young and inexperienced and won't be better. They get the Ravens, and then they get the Bengals. So 3 of the last 4 games could be very winnable games for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they win more games than the Jets. I don't think that's a knock on the Jets because I think they're in 2 different places. Also, Cleveland's in a tricky situation because if they're going to play Deshaun, that means they're trying to win as many games as possible. They're not tanking. They're trying to win some games. They're trying to be competitive. So they could. I could see that happening. I got one for you, Will. I'm gonna save that one. This one you're gonna like a lot. This one, pause. But this one I do like. This one, Cam Ward over 19 and a half touchdown passes. That's plus 102. Cam Ward going into his second year. They bring in the offensive coordinator Brian Daboll. We know his pedigree, developing quarterbacks, Josh Allen. Tennessee's going to throw the ball a lot. They signed Wan'Dale Robinson. They draft Carnell Tate. So they're expecting to air it out a little bit. Last year, Cam Ward had 15 touchdown passes. Now you upgrade your number 1 and number 2 receiver position along with the new offensive coordinator. I think 20 touchdown passes is legitimate for him. I think he can get to that. We see a lot of young quarterbacks in that second year take the next step. We saw it with Caleb Williams. We saw it with Drake May. We saw it with Bo Nix. I think Cam Ward's the next in line as a young quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if he passed that number easily. He might even get to 25 touchdown passes because I just think they're going to air the ball out and give him an opportunity to throw. Also, they're not a good team, so they're going to be behind in a lot of games as well, which means more passing attempts. 19 and a half touchdown passes over for Cam Ward. I like that one a lot. Trip, you got another one?
Yeah, I got a couple more for you. I'm gonna go plus 1,200 rushing yards for Derrick Henry. I'm definitely take that one, and I'm gonna take the Lions to win the North.
Lions win NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
I like both those. The Derrick Henry one I like.
Yeah,
I got
me
a
too.
rushing one that I'm gonna add on here as well, but I like Derrick Henry. I mean, 1,200 rushing yards, unless he's hurt, he should get to that number pretty easily. That's about what? That's about like 50 yards a game, 60 yards a game on a 17-game schedule.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying, right? He don't have to average 100 yards a game. If he's averaging about 60 yards a game, he should get to that.
Yep.
So I like that one as well. Will, what you got?
Let's see. I've got the Giants. I got the Giants finishing last in their division this year. I think John Harbaugh is wildly overrated. I think Lamar saved his ass more than he was a good coach. A lot of times in Baltimore, I think the quarterback, I'm not sure he's dialed in. I definitely know your running back is out of his mind. I mean, and I still think that the locker room dynamics is still going to be a story throughout the season. And I just don't expect them to be better than the Commanders, the Eagles, or the Cowboys. I think all 3 of those teams have already shown that they're more prepared to win right now than the Giants are. And I think they'll finish 4th place. That's plus 150 for them to finish 4th place in the NFC East.
Pretty decent odds. I mean, it's not, again, this is one of those similar to the one that you said with the Browns. I could fuck with it. Now, I don't think the Giants are going to be a last place team, but I could fuck with it though because we do expect the Cowboys and the Eagles to be the best 2 teams in the division. So then at that point, you're pretty much battling out for 3rd place. Could the Commanders be better? Maybe, yeah. If Jaden is healthy all year, maybe they are better. So it's not that far of a reach. I fuck with it. What you think, Trip?
I mean, yeah, I'm with it.
I mean, I know you don't want to hear that about the Giants, but you know.
Well, no, I mean that part. No, I don't believe the Giants will finish in last place though. That part, I don't agree with. I think it's probably the Commanders wind up finishing last. I think the Giants are going to surprise a lot of people.
I think the Giants are going to be better, but I think Will made some great points because, again, what's that locker room dynamic? Now, there's been a lot of time that's passed since that Trump rally. They'll get a lot of mini camp, preseason football to work all that out. That would have been worse for that locker room if that happened in September. You know what I'm saying? That happened back in like April. So they've had time to work through that. They won 4 games last year. History in the NFL shows that normally when you upgrade your head coach, you normally add 2 or 3 more wins. We've seen it everywhere. I mean, Will, you know what happened with the Chargers when y'all added Harbaugh over there. You know, historically, teams get better once you add a better head coach. The Patriots last year with Mike Vrabel. So I think they will be better. But like I said, it's not a reach really if you do think that the Cowboys and the Eagles are the best 2 teams, because then that means really all you're asking is just the Commanders to win the race to 3rd place. That's all you're asking. You're not asking for something magical to happen. Will, you're gonna love this one. This prop is set too low. I'm gonna actually put money on this right now. This prop is set way too low based on history, based on the player. We just had a top 10 ranking in quarterbacks. Justin Herbert was ranked in that top 10. His passing number for this year is set at 3,500 yards. That's way too low when you look at the history of the player. He's passed that number in 5 of his 6 years as a starter. The only year he did not pass that number was, I believe that was 2023 when he got hurt. He only played 13 games that year, so he didn't pass 3,500 yards. But every other year, he's passed 3,500 yards. Mind you, that's with inconsistent receiver play, injuries on the O-line. Justin Herbert is one of the better throwers of football throughout the league. We know that. I think 3,500 yards is way too low. You get pretty much, like I said, minus 114 on it, just above even odds on it. But I think he surpasses that number. I can't see a situation where Justin Herbert doesn't at least throw for 3,800 yards this year, unless he's hurt again. Other than that, he should get there. And as I said, in 5 of his 6 years in the league, he clearly passed that number. That's one of my favorite prop bets that I came across.
And with what Mike McDaniel's wanting to do at offensive coordinator, almost a quick get the ball out quick style offense. That 35 probably is a little too low there. I would say I like that over.
Yeah, I'm gonna pair that with probably 2 other ones here that I like, because I like the Cam Ward one a lot. I like Tyler Warren's numbers. I'm gonna pair that with like 3 or 4 of them, but I like that one a lot, man. Trip, you got any more? I got like 1 more.
Let me check my notes here. Okay. I'll do some. I went on the defensive side of the football. And I got Kyle Hamilton, first team All Pro this year.
They put the odds at?
Hold on, let me see. Do I have it here? Hold on.
I'm trying to think what other safeties could take that spot from him.
Derwin James.
So you get 2 safeties. Derwin. Who else? Do we still have Buda Baker as one of the top guys?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a 70 to 80% chance that he makes either first or second team. There's like a 40 to 50% chance that he makes the first team. I'll take those odds.
Because they, like I said, they just picked 2 safeties. So I'm trying to think outside of Derwin James, Kyle Hamilton, Buda Baker.
That's the kid in Denver at safety. Damn.
I'm talking about Funga?
Forget his name. But they got one.
Yeah. I know we're missing somebody, but I mean, it's a good bet. It's a good bet. Kyle Hamilton is one of the elite safeties in the game. So to make first team, you know, it's not a reach.
Kyle Hamilton is arguably the best safety in football.
Yeah, no, of course.
He can definitely.
But with the all-pro stuff, remember, sometimes with the all-pro stuff, somebody's stats got outshine him.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to think, like, who are the other elite safeties in the game? Because he could be regarded as the best safety, but not get first team all-pro.
Yeah.
But it's still, like I said, it's not like a super reach. Will, you got any more left?
I think we hit 'em all. Oh no, I got I had two more actually. I got the Commanders to win more games than the Bucks plus 120. I think the Bucks. I think the Bucks aren't going to have a good season this year. No more Mike Evans, which I know they got other guys that they hope to grow in that position to replace him. But I think Baker's going to be distracted this season. He just had a kid, like a month or two ago, and I think he's going to be a little bit more distracted, not getting as much sleep. You know, maybe not paying much, watching as much film at home. You know what I'm saying? First year of the kid. I know from experience it's very distracting. So I think the Commanders with a healthy Jay Daniels, I think they can win more games than the Bucks this year.
I can see it. I mean, I haven't gone through the schedules, and that's something I know we're going to do as we get further into the preseason. But I mean, the Bucks are really in a do or die situation. Baker Mayfield's on the last year of his deal. They could be moving on from their head coach. So yeah, this could be just one of them bad years. And they had a terrible second half of last year. Maybe that carries over to this year.
This is another team that's crazily affected by injuries.
Say that again?
I said it did another team that's been heavily affected by injury.
And now you got arguably their best defensive player, Vita Vea, saying he wants out.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, before you go on, hold on, Eric, 1 second before you go, I got to say this because Will, you got to put a little more respect on Harbaugh's name. That man had a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson got there, so don't do that. All right, that man is one of the better coaches in the league. Like, put some respect on his name.
Didn't he get it like what year did he get it? That Super Bowl? How long was he there?
When he got that Super Bowl, I think that was in his third or fourth year there with Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he got there, he took the job when Flacco was a rookie, and what they won year 4 when Flacco was there, right before Flacco got the big contract.
Yeah.
So it was like his 4th year. I got 2. These are my last 2, and then we're gonna go to the last question tonight from Squeeze. And shout out to Christopher Little. He commented on that question from Squeeze as well. So I talked about some of the props that I gave a couple weeks ago. Another one I really like. I'm gonna try to draft him in fantasy if he's there. Blake Corum. He's the backup running back from the Rams, but I think in terms of production, he's gonna put up big numbers this year. Last year, he ran for 746 yards as the backup running back, averaging 5.1 yards a game. 5.1 yards a carry. I gave the comparison, 5.1 yards a carry, just to give y'all some comparisons of other running backs who were in that same range last year. You had Bijan Robinson, who averaged 5.2 yards a carry. Bijan ran for 1,400 yards last year. You had Gibbs, who ran for 5 yards a carry. He ran for 1,200 yards. And then you had Jonathan Taylor, who ran for 4.9 yards a carry, and he ran for 1,500 yards last year. So in terms of production and average yards per carry, Blake Corum is right there. He just didn't get enough carries. He only had 145 carries last year. I think Sean McVay gives him much more carries this year. I expect him to be a guy who goes, I think his number right now is somewhere right around 750. Again, he's going to easily surpass that number because I think he's going to become RB number 1 in LA. And then my other one is Jonathan Taylor. They got his rushing yards at 1,225 and a half, similar to like what we talked about with Derrick Henry. To get to 1,200 yards on the season, you got to average about 70 yards a game. Jonathan Taylor, I think, is going to do that. He surpassed this number in 3 of the last 5 years. The only 2 years he didn't go over 1,200 yards was the 2 years he was injured in 22 and 23. Other than that, he easily is above 1,200 yards. There's a run-first offense. We know they want to run the ball to set up Daniel Jones play action. So I like Jonathan Taylor over 1,225 in terms of rushing. We're going to put a ticket together before the season starts, guys. All right. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to the Sanchez Show and Real Fans Real Talk. We're going to be back Monday, 7 p.m. Also, make sure you're following us across all social media platforms. You see the handle right there. As we get into football season, I'm going to ramp up the schedule. More dates, more lives, more interaction. We got so much to talk about as we get into the NFL season. A lot more gambling, a lot more predictions. But to end off the show tonight, shout out to Squeeze. This was the final comment or question he wanted us to get into. I'm going to put all three of these comments up back to back because they kind of all go together. Squeeze says, end of the show question. In female rap, outside of Nicki Minaj and maybe Missy, why don't female rappers have a long career? MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, Yo-Yo, Lil Kim, The Brat, Foxy, Mia, all ended early. Then he goes, Trina and Remy Ma been around over 10 years, but they don't have the hits or great career like the others. I felt all these ladies' careers should have been much longer. Why do y'all feel females end early? And then Christopher added this in. Squeeze, all them ladies was great, but Nicki was just different. First female rapper to be international like a pop star. Missy was hot since 97, but when Kim and Foxy came, it ended Brat. Trip, I'm gonna let you go first. Why do you feel the females in the rap game, their careers end off early? Why don't you feel they have the same longevity as a lot of the male counterparts?
Well, all right. So, I mean, there's a couple of things that could affect that situation. But one, in this, may happen in a lot of cases, women have babies. When you have a baby, that takes you away from your career because, naturally the mom is going to be the primary caregiver for the child, because child just came from that woman. So you got those things, and then the other part to that too is it's women's rap. And even though I might rock with a lot of females, y'all might rock with a lot of females, there's a lot of people that's just not bumping female rappers. A lot of people that's just not even gonna give them a chance because they don't want to hear female rapping.
Will, what you think, bro?
Everything Trip said, especially the having families, especially the having kids and whatnot, and starting families and all. And like I don't think there's a demand for their music either. Like it's got like from the fans. I don't remember, because it's always seems like there's a gap in albums, like a wider gap, and then it just the artist doesn't seem to grow with the. I don't know if it's with the times or if the fan base just didn't latch on to them strong enough to where they give a damn after they've been out. Like if they disappear for a year or two, nobody's looking for them. Now you do have a few, the Missies, like Missy, really to me, she's probably done the most for hip hop as far as a female rapper is her contributions to all across the board. She's somebody that
what are we saying is a long career though? Like if you was putting out music for 10 straight years, 20 years, like what's the qualifications for this?
That's a good question too. I was assuming like 10 or more. You know what I mean?
I mean, even in that, you got to remember, like a lot of male artists don't have a 10-year career.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm asking, because I'm like, what's the, you know what I mean? Like, because if you feel like a long career is 20 years, you knock out probably 70% of the people in hip hop. So, like, what are we talking about here?
But also the music don't age. You know what I'm saying? Like we still listen to Nas, we still listen to old Mobb Deep and stuff. Like you still want to bump that stuff. Yeah. I don't see no ladies wanting to bump no old, the hardcore album. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you're 1000% correct, because that's where I was going to start my point, that the subject matter, right, it becomes dated. So you come in the game. I'm just going to use Lil Kim as an example. This isn't a knock on Lil Kim, just as an example though. If you came in the game, you Lil Kim, and my fault, you come in hardcore, sex symbol, you know what I'm saying, raunchy content, all that is cool for a certain amount of time. Your audience can't there's no room for growth for your audience because that content is only for the women who are in that lifestyle in that moment. The moment those women get a little older and now, like to Tripp's point, become moms, right? And taking care of their kids, there's no way they bumping that material in their car. They're not listening to that no more.
Mhm.
So it makes it tougher. Whereas like when we use the example of like Jay-Z, Nas, or Mobb Deep, right? There's growth in their music. So even as we get older as men, you can still pull gems from the music that you're listening to.
Yeah.
You can still listen to it and be like, yo, this is still quality because they're still talking about something that's relevant. But ain't no mid-30s, early 40s woman driving around listening to hardcore.
Right.
Or listening to, you know, what Foxy Brown was talking about, like, or listen to Trina. They like ain't no way they doing that.
Yep.
So it becomes very difficult for your audience to grow with you. And like, all right, you gave us that in the beginning, but now let's see some more growth. I think that's the position Cardi B's in right now. I think Cardi put out some hits, but Cardi still want to hold on to being a sex symbol. You a mother of 3 kids at this point. The people want to hear growth from you.
Mhm.
You can't talk about how nasty you are in the bedroom and you're a mother of 3 who's in her mid-30s, because now it's like now that it don't match up. I think Meg Thee Stallion is going to have the same issues with her content as well.
Mhm.
The fans can't grow with you. And Trip, you might know who this was. I can't remember which music exec talked about this, and they were talking about why it's so much harder to have a female artist have the longevity in comparison to a male, because he said with the female artist, the upkeep of that artist is so much more expensive than the upkeep of a male artist. With a male artist, as long as he still look fly, you throw the chains on him, you cool. With the female artist, the weave got to be crazy every time they see you. The nails got to be done, the outfits, all these things. And he was like, the upkeep on the female side is so much more crazy than the male side that it's like it's not even worth the investment. Because if I'm putting hundreds of thousands of dollars just into your look before we even get to the studio, I'm never going to get the return on that investment. So it becomes tougher for me to promote you as an artist because I got to keep your look a certain way so people buy into the content and people want to keep fucking with you. And I think that's another reason why, Two Squeeze, a lot of the women don't have the same longevity. What people want to see from them, the growth people want to see, you're never going to see it. You like, I challenge Meg Thee Stallion to do different type of music because I don't think she can do different type of music. Same thing with Cardi B. I don't think they can do different type of music. They came in the game one way and now they're going to have trouble evolving.
There you go.
Yeah, y'all got anything else y'all want to add to it?
No, man, that's it right there. But I will say this: Cardi is number 1 right now amongst the women.
Yeah, Cardi got the spot, but I still think it's difficulty in keeping that spot.
Oh, it's very difficult. But so here's the thing, right? Right now, you know, we'll say within like the last 10 years, there's been a huge influx of female rappers, right? So one of the things about Nicki is when she was making her way to the top, and Nicki is fire, but she also didn't have any competition on her way to being the number 1 female in rap. Because if you remember at that time, it was really, there was like a little break, and then it was Remy was getting her buzz up, and then she went to jail.
Yep.
And then there was no other real female artist that was putting out music at the time. So the combination of her being fire and there being no competition is over.
Yeah. I think overall it's just tough, bro. I don't know if you're gonna get a female artist that has that type of longevity. Like Lauryn Hill probably could have done it, but Lauryn stepped away from the game very quickly.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the last female album I downloaded, rap artist down, like an album. I'm trying to think. It's definitely not nobody like mainstream, none of the people they promoting. Probably Rhapsody, who a lot of our fans might not even know who Rhapsody is. That was probably the last complete.
And that's, yeah.
But think about it, because men still drive hip hop, and we don't drive to girls' subjects. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's getting in the car, man. Like, I mean, men that I know wanting to, hey, put that mag on, dog. Has anybody have you ever heard that before? Have you ever said that before?
But honestly,
You know what I'm saying?
honestly, that's what. But even Nikki at her prime, I never got in the car. Somebody was like, "Yo, put that Nikki on."
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now, Nikki had great features. Like Nikki, she was on the Monster joint. She did a lot of joints with Young Money, where you respected her artistry. But like you said, nobody was going, aside from her core audience, nobody was going crazy to hear her music.
Mm-hmm.
She truly was a pop star. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's also that disconnect between when you're a pop star and then when the hip hop heads and the people who like really push the culture enjoy your music, because there is a difference in that too. I think that, and that also becomes a debate with Drake when people are like, oh, Drake is this. It's like, yeah, Drake is a pop star, but the people who really push the culture and love the culture don't have the same love for Drake that some others do, because they view him as a pop star, and those of us who love hip hop view him as that. He's more of that. He's over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a rapper in the way we view a rapper. He's not an artist in that way.
Yeah.
He's doing
one of the funniest shits I heard. I think I sent it to you, Will. The funniest shit I heard. Dude said, he was like, Drake makes music for Lady Foot Locker.
Oh yeah, I saw that clip.
That shit was the funniest shit, but he's so true. He said it's so true. He was like, yo, he's like, Drake's albums are made for Lady Foot Locker.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You don't want to hit them nowhere else. But if you happen to just stumble into a Lady Foot Locker, like, oh shit, they got the Drake on it. Like, that's how you would view it. It's true, bro. Like, we don't view him in that way. And that's not a knock on him. He had a lot of success. But everybody isn't meant to be in the same lane. Trip, give me a final thought. Let's wrap up for the night.
Shout out to my brothers, first and foremost. To the family. And shout out to the supporters, man. I truly appreciate you guys continuing to rock with us every week. I've been seeing every week new faces in the comments. So, shout out to everybody who's just discovering us. And shout out to everybody who's been rocking with us, since we started this thing. That's all. Much love to everybody.
That's a fact. A lot of new supporters in here. We greatly appreciate it. Will, give me a final thought.
Just want to say, men, go to the doctor, especially black men. We need to take care of ourselves out here. Losing too many people at ages that way too young for things that could have been prevented. So, go to the doctor, fellas.
That's a fact. I second that. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to all the supporters. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Sanchez Show as well as Real Fans Real Talk. We'll be back Monday night, Real Fans Real Talk, 7 p.m. Make sure you guys are following us on social media. You see the handles right there. Run up the numbers, man. We did some great numbers on Monday night, Trip. I was letting you know, I was a little surprised by the amount of views we was getting on the shorts within a 24-hour time frame.
Yeah,
but that's all, to the support of the supporters, people locking in with us, subscribing. So continue to lock in with us. We greatly appreciate it. The content is going to ramp up as we get closer to football season and into football season. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Be safe out there. For my brothers Trip Young and Will Gordon, I am Eric Sanchez. This was the Sanchez Show. We'll see you guys on Monday night, 7 p.m. We are out of here.
Peace.